Hello, world, and we're back. This is the Healing Chefs podcast. I am Ryan, aka Crownson's Corner. But Healing Chefs podcast, all about healing, trying to help each other and not feel so alone, and spiced with a few different subjects. We're not saying them nowadays, so maybe we don't take off YouTube because we've been in trouble lately. But yeah, it's about mental health for the most part. But we do have some different topics and segments that we go through, and we'll go over that. But Chef, everyone that we have on here, Chef coming from the word chief, chief meaning leader. Everyone that I have on here, believe, is a leader in their own way and in their own life. So today's chef is Mike, or AKA Fat Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God. Can you stop him at the door? Stop him at the door, please. Yeah, well, pictures later, everybody. Thank you. All right. Awesome. How we doing, man?
Good, man. I'm so thankful to be here, man. I think this whole setup is dope, man. I appreciate that.
A big shout out to Habari Entertainment for that. Anybody else who wants to do a podcast or something, you can do it here too.
Fire.
Hit them up. Absolutely, Damon, Aisha, great people. Hit them up, habarientertainment.com. But love it. Glad that you made it. It's a little bit crazy. It's still hot out here in Arizona. Crazy drive-in as well. But I'm glad you made it. Ryan talking take two. I may be high. Probably. So before we jump into any segments, can you enlighten the people what you do as an, if everybody doesn't know, you should know, Mike is a AZ rapper. Oh my God, I said at the door. Keep him, can you? Thanks. Keep him back. All right, thank you. So can you enlighten us a little bit about that, and then we'll get into our little segments.
So I'm an artist. It's one of the things I do. Fat Mike Productions.
There we
Fat
go.
Mike _Productions on Insta. Fat Mike Productions.blogspot.com. I'm a stage right. I'm a screenwriter, man. I'm everybody asks me the direction I'm going with this music. I always tell them pop music. Like my goal is I'm getting up there. I'm on my downward slope. We working towards that way. Everything is a financial venture. It's a personal growth moment for me, because if you know me or my story, I spent 15 years in the penitentiary. So I'm learning every day.
Yeah.
I'm several steps behind in every conversation I indulge in. I'm teaching myself, but I'm happy with where I'm at.
I feel that. I was talking to someone recently about that kind of stuff, because we go through traumas in our lives, and that stops us from our emotional and physical and sometimes our mental growth. So being behind and all that kind of stuff is understandable. But I think from our conversations, you've been doing a great job. Shout out to you. Yep. But yeah, man of many hats. But I've been listening to some of your music more recently, and we'll get into some more of that. But let's go ahead and jump into our first segment, which is Cannabis Journey. Yeah. Little walk through the wood. All right, Cannabis Journey is all about how you found cannabis yourself, and then like where you're at with it now, and then maybe how it's relating to your artistry and all those different things.
I found it in a little Santa Claus cookie can in my grandma's cupboard when I was real young. You used to have this little roach clip, but it was a face. You stuck the little roach in his mouth, and it looked like he was smoking. And that shit used to fascinate me. I just turned 7 years old, man, and my neighbor used to babysit me, such and so forth. When I would go over there, but I remember as soon as she gave me an opportunity to get in that cupboard, I got up, climbed up there, went in the little closet, took me a couple little tokes, and got to spinning. It ain't been the same since.
That's a very specific memory. That reminds me, one of the things that fascinated me when I was a child was something like that. It was an incense burner that like my grandparents had that came out like Christmas time, and he put these little cones in it and set this guy's body on top of it, and just smoke would be coming out of his mouth and stuff, and he'd have a pipe, and I'm like, I'd just be mesmerized just staring at the smoke and everything. Yeah, I think we were destined to find these things and smoke.
That's right.
Now, I do ask everybody this, and everyone tells me they love all weed, and I understand that. But if you had a choice, had to make a decision, would it be indica, sativa, hybrid? Even though most things are hybrid nowadays,
Shout out to Cat Williams, man. I just want some regular weed, man.
Just want some weed.
I mean, I feel like it's catered too much to one direction. You know, if I get the indica, it's trying to put me down. If I get the sativa, it's not getting me hollow. You know, I just want to giggle and eat. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. So I would definitely say you're definitely hybrid. Just, I mean, then again, nowadays everything is, but I understand because I have sativas that help me get ready and go to the gym in the morning. But if I smoke that stuff at night, like it just doesn't hit that way. I need something full body to help me get my sleep. And then you're more flower than concentrates, or
I'm only flower.
only flower?
I do the little pens that work.
Fair
You
enough.
know, other than that, man, I only smoke blunts.
Now, when you're writing, whether it be whatever music now, are you smoking along with it? Does it give you inspiration, or is it just part of your? You have the purple.
Unfortunately,
The purple.
unfortunately, man, I need to smoke just to be normal. I have no emotional regularity. I don't know as many steps as I gained and strengths I've learned becoming a man out here, because that's what I did. It took me as a kid. I'm learning. I fall several steps behind because I'm always I gotta smoke before when I wake up, before I eat, after I eat. If we go anywhere, I gotta smoke. And I could feel myself like, you
Get
know, this,
tense.
and
Yeah,
I get frustrated, I get
I
irritable.
I feel.
And I was recently just talking to my bro, shout out to Rose Gold, about holistic. That's why this whole thing was such a crazy coincidence, or whatever you want to call it, that you called, because I'm really interested in what y'all do here. Remember when we initially talked, I asked you about the psychedelics and
Yeah.
how, because I have difficulties just sustaining a normal day. I lost my son when I came out here. My son has a disability. Life is life, and
Mm-hmm.
with this music, you got to pay your way. Everything is it's hard trying to catch up, be a father, be an artist, and then find time to build upon everything that I've been sitting in that cell plotting on. Man, I have books and books and business plans on business plans and
Mm-hmm.
ideas and marketing strategies up the wazoo.
Yeah.
It was devastating to realize that I couldn't implement them, that I couldn't apply them when I came home.
Yeah.
Um, that shit crushed my existence, along with other tragedies in my life.
It's understandable, and having to smoke to get things going, brother. That's a lot to carry. I'm glad you shared that stuff with us. But I can definitely see that, being able to smoke and stuff. Now, I can relate a little bit to that because with my PTSD from going to Iraq and whatnot and all that kind of stuff, there's times where, especially and we'll get into more about the psychedelics here in a little bit, that I still have my problems and stuff like that and need like a clean wipe. And that's what I use the psychedelics for, because I can start to be cranky and get egotistical and all that kind of stuff, just like anybody else. But then after, I don't know what that was, but after someone got a message, but after smoking or something, then I realize, oh shit, or the psychedelics and stuff, I can kind of look back at all those different things and I can not be as so put my own shit into everybody else's kind of thing. But thank you for sharing that with us. And with the writing and the rapping and whatnot and all that kind of stuff, do you find any inspiration from cannabis? I do have the let's see, it's the perp.
The PBM.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. To be honest with you, like I said, man, everything starts with the trees. I've been smoking since I was a kid. T Bones, TBONEZ, ILL. Y'all know what it is. He has cerebral palsy, stage 4. That's my brother. He's one half of ILL. You know, me and him been smoking since we was kids, ducking off in the alleyways till his mom found out. She told us, "I'd rather have you in the house smoking than
That's an
y'all
area.
going out doing weird shit somewhere else."
Yeah,
So
that's an Arizona thing. The alleys for sure.
yeah. So yeah, me and him, How High, Half Baked, Grandma's Boy, movies like that. You know, Dazed and Confused.
Hell yeah.
Stuff like that.
L-I-V-I-N.
We was smoking. We was smoking for the intro. With that, we had the mid movie blunt.
Right.
Blunt. There's, of course, man. I drive inspiration. I feel like it's taken a toll on my motivation and my inspiration and my creativity at this time in my life. To be honest with you, and I'm really considering relinquishing my dependency on it.
On cannabis?
Yes.
Nice. That's something. That's weird.
Not permanently.
No.
But for a good, because it hinders my growth. It hinders my progress. I spend entirely too much time smoking weed, man. I smoke in separate rooms, but around my kids, like my you know what I mean? I'm really don't care where, like, I'll smoke. And that's just something that it takes a priority. It's part of my budget, man. And that's just, to me, right now in my life, with the things I'm trying to accomplish, I just don't think it's sensible. I think I'm making the same old mistakes.
I really appreciate that, because I've been having some of those kind of thoughts myself, and even the universe told me at one point in time, allegedly, I may have tried to do some business and stuff, and shit just didn't work out, and I just had to body it and take and pay it off. You know what I'm saying? But you pay it off. But that was just a notice for me, like, hey, this ain't for you. Lately, I've been even like sometimes smoking and stuff. Man, if not doing that, stopping or whatever, but at least like I've slowed down considerably, and stopping might, who knows? That's a good thought. Maybe it's not always about getting high. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I appreciate that. Dope. We'll go ahead and jump into the next segment, which is Trip Tales. I just took that and just created that whole thing from different images and shit out there with the writing.
Man,
I liked it. DMT scares the shit out of me.
man, you know what, man? I've heard little things about it. I'm an information junkie. So
Okay.
I seen that shit on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm diving into rabbit holes. I'm all over Google and shit. That's why I try not to scroll the part. I spend more time on myself than anything else editing my shit. Because if I see something that intrigues me, or like I have an inquiry, I'm going to look, because I retain information pretty well, and I try to use everything I intake to create my story that I'm telling. I don't want misinformation. Yeah. That's what internet is fucking misinformation.
Oh, for sure. That's a big point that has helped me with psychedelics' perspective, is noticing, like, once I'd get so locked into a small idea of the world and be like, well, this group doesn't give a shit or something like that, or something, be like, but then I take a step back and go, oh shit, I wasn't looking at this. So with yourself, have you had any experiences? I know you've been doing research and stuff, or is this something that you aspire to do, to do?
No, I'm gonna keep it a band, man. I took one of them, like, little shroomy boards that have, floating around or whatever.
Right.
And I'm unsure about its authenticity and such and so forth. But I know I had a whole conversation with such and so. But there was the internet's forever. But I felt like I was talking to something that attached itself to me, that was taken away from me. I'll let whoever come to their own conclusions, but my life has been a snowball effect of mistakes, man, and ill-advised decisions, even though my mind works incredibly well when it comes to problem solving and being able to perceive something for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a church, and I questioned it very early. I had a lot of questions, but I was raised by a single mother. I'm from a predominantly black neighborhood, and the way I was raised was reverence to your elders. And when it came to my mama, and like most people's mamas in our time, you don't talk back to your mama.
No.
You don't question what she says.
Mm-mm.
You go and do. But that hurt me, because I was so thirsty for the understanding and knowledge and the conversation. And it was like I said, my story's my story, but she was always there to make sure I didn't need for nothing, regardless of where I was or how or she was or whatever. She was always. But I had a thirst for knowledge and understanding, and I wanted to go outside and tackle things, and she wanted me to protect me from those things. And it created a rift. that and then life comes with its circumstances. I'm writing a book called The Law of Application, basically saying even the most profound statements, things like Proverbs and the Art of War and Ecclesiastes, just the most truest throughout time that hold water. They all apply differently in different situations, circumstances, different environments, around different people. You got to be water, and
Bruce
facts. And I'm a whole fucking glob of land mass that's not moving in the direction I want it to go right now, and
Okay.
that weighs on me heavily too. Shit. So when it comes to the psychedelics, I want to. I just don't know shit about it. To be honest with you, I'm scared of myself and my past temptations and my recent and past failures about drugs in general. And I don't want to associate with certain people that fuck around with it, period, because like I don't want to know you. Because there's times if I would have known somebody that would have had this or that or this and that, because I doubt you that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not holding no glorified nothing, but find my weak moments and when I couldn't drink alcohol no more because of my body, I'm searching for outs, man. I've been drinking and smoking since I was 7. I haven't been sober since, even when I was in prison. And now that I'm trying to figure my shit out, because I got an 11-year-old stepdaughter and a 6-year-old stepson,
Right.
that I don't understand, that I can't raise like I was raised. I can't raise the girl like I raised the boy. I can't even talk to him. And that, even with the work and stuff and getting my life together, felt like a failure as a man and a father and a leader and trying to, I hold myself so highly. I talk like I'm especially with this music and everything. I really expect certain things from myself, and I set it all up to do those things, and I reached the point where I have to apply action to those things, and I always find a cliff to jump off of instead.
Man. Well, with the psychedelics though, if you need a guide or anything, I'd be more than happy to help with anything like that. I've done quite a bit. It's not an easy thing to face. Everyone has their demons, and I'm sure you're well aware of what you got going on, and I can understand that. I can't relate to the being a dad and all that kind of stuff, but I can feel for you. I do have a special needs sister that my parents have in Missouri, and she's over 20, can't walk or talk. I've seen some of the struggles with that, so I can't relate again, but I feel for you. But psychedelics really kind of like let you sit back and take a lot of if you're like it's really hard because what happens is like when you have a lot of cannabis and stuff, you start looking at past experiences and past actions and stuff like that, and you can judge yourself harshly, but I feel like we need to all give ourselves a bit of grace because I've never been this old. Have you been this old before? I'm saying, bro,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? No one has walked the path that you are on. If I lived, well, I'm not saying that I could go through some of the situations, but if I lived your life, I would be you. And if you lived my life, you would be me, just in like the human general sense. We have to give ourselves some grace, and but it is great that your mind is where it needs to be. You're thinking about these things and so on and so forth. What I've been doing lately, along with the psychedelics and cutting back on the cannabis intake and whatnot, is actually working out, and that some of that clears my mind and lets me put some of the perspective of what I need to think about and stuff too. And I saw you working out recently too, and shout out to you for that, man. I mean, you're doing, man. You're trying, like, don't like. I really want to be your biggest fan because you need to. You're doing great, man. I understand. I just took that and just created that whole thing from different images and shit out there with the writing.
Man,
I liked it. DMT scares the shit out of me.
man, you know what, man? I've heard little things about it. I'm an information junkie. Once I
Okay.
seen that shit on the Joe Rogan podcast, I'm diving into rabbit holes. I'm all over Google and shit. That's why I try not to scroll upon. I spend more time on myself than anything else editing my shit. Because if I see something that intrigues me or like I have an inquiry, I'm going to look because I retain information pretty well, and I try to use everything I intake to create my story that I'm telling. So I don't want
Hell yeah.
misinformation. That's what internet is fucking misinformation.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. That's a big point that has helped me with psychedelics is perspective. Is noticing like once I'd get so locked into a small idea of the world and be like, well, this group doesn't give a shit or something like that or something. Be like, but then I take a step back and go, oh shit, I wasn't looking at this. So with yourself, have you had any experiences? I know you've been doing research and stuff, or is this something that you aspire to do, to do?
Nah, I'm gonna keep it a band, man. I took one of them like little shroomy boards that have floating around or
Right, right,
whatever,
right.
and I'm unsure about its authenticity and such and so forth. But I know I had a whole conversation with such and so. But there was the internet's forever. But at my I felt like I was talking to something that attached itself to me that was taken away from me. I'll let whoever come to their own conclusions, but my life has been a snowball effect of mistakes, man, and ill-advised decisions, even though my mind works incredibly well when it comes to problem solving and
Mm-hmm.
you know, being able to perceive something for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a church and I questioned it very early. I had a lot of questions, but I was raised by a single mother. Um, I'm from a predominantly black neighborhood, and the way I was raised was reverence to your elders. And when it came to my mama, and like most people's mamas in our time, you don't talk back to your mama.
No, no.
You don't question what she says.
Mm-mm.
You go and do. But that hurt me because I was so thirsty for the understanding and knowledge and the conversation. And it was like I said, my story's my story, but she was always there to make sure I didn't need for nothing, regardless of where I was or how or she was or whatever. She was always. But I had a thirst for knowledge and understanding, and I wanted to go outside and tackle things, and she wanted me to protect me from those things. And it created a rift that and then life comes with its circumstances. I'm writing a book called The Law of Application, basically saying even the most profound statements, things like Proverbs and the Art of War and Ecclesiastes, just the most truest throughout time that hold water. They all apply differently in different situations,
Mm-hmm.
circumstances, different environments, around different people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, you got to be water, and
Bruce Lee.
facts. And I'm a whole fucking glob of land mass that's not moving in the direction I want it to go right now, and
Okay.
that weighs on me heavily too.
Mm.
Shit. So when it comes to the psychedelics, I want to. I just don't know shit about it. To be honest with you, I'm scared of myself and my past temptations and my recent and past failures about drugs in general. And I don't want to associate with certain people that fuck around with it, period, because like I don't want to know you. Because there's times if I would have known somebody that would have had this or that or this and that, because I doubt you, dad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not holding no glorified nothing, but I find my weak moments and when I couldn't drink alcohol no more because of my body, I'm searching for outs, man. I've been drinking and smoking since I was 7. I haven't been sober since, even when I was in
Mm-hmm.
prison. Um, and now that I'm trying to figure my shit out because I got an 11-year-old stepdaughter
Mm-hmm.
and a 6-year-old stepson
Right.
that I don't understand, that I can't raise like I was raised, that I can't raise the girl like I raised the boy. I can't even talk to him. And that even with the work and stuff and getting my life together, I felt like a failure as a man and a father and a leader and trying to I hold myself so highly. I talk like I'm especially with this music and everything. I really expect certain things from myself. And I set it all up to do those things and I reached the point where I have to apply action to those things.
Mm.
And I always found a cliff to jump off of instead.
Man. Well, with the psychedelics though, if you need a guide or anything, I'd be more than happy to help with anything like that. I've done quite a bit. It's not an easy thing to face. Everyone has their demons, and I'm sure you're well aware of what you got going on, and I can understand that. I can't relate to the being a dad and all that kind of stuff, but I can feel for you. I do have a special needs sister that my parents have in Missouri, and she's over 20, can't walk or talk. I've seen some of the struggles with that, so I can't relate again, but I feel for you. But yeah, psychedelics really kind of like let you sit back and take a lot of if you're like it's really hard because what happens is like when you have a lot of cannabis and stuff, you start looking at past experiences and past actions and stuff like that, and you can judge yourself harshly, but I feel like we need to all give ourselves a bit of grace because I've never been this old. Have you been this old before? I'm saying, bro, you know what I mean? No one has walked the path that you are on. If I lived, well, I'm not saying like I could go through some of the situations, but if I lived your life, I would be you. And if you lived my life, you would be me, just in like the human general sense. We have to give ourselves some grace, and but it is great that your mind is where it needs to be. You're thinking about these things and so on and so forth. What I've been doing lately, along with the psychedelics and cutting back on the cannabis intake and whatnot, is actually working out, and that some of that clears my mind and lets me put some of the perspective of what I need to think about and stuff too. And I saw you working out recently too, and shout out to you for that, man. I mean, you're doing, man, you're trying, like, don't, like, I really want to be your biggest fan because you need to, you're doing great, man. I understand you're seeing all the negatives, but I know everyone watching right now and I was reading it for a second. It said Mike is muted for the thing. But so kind of jumping back into a little bit more of the same thing, but mental health is wealth. But and we'll put the psychedelics into this as well because I wanted to bring up there's some really good news lately about psychedelic research. The FDA has given the okay to some research that they have is a new compound that they call the tofu of psychedelics. Tofu because it's a bit more milder in therapeutic versions. It is an offshoot of, I believe, 5-MeO, close to DMT, and they're calling it Moxie. With that, in combination with like therapy and stuff, one of the best things with psychedelics is it releases you and you can kind of focus on those things. But I think the best is to have a trip sitter and to have someone there with you that can not only calm you, but help you address the different things that are going on. Now, there are going to be some silly moments, but like you want to make sure, especially like myself, like I'm not a small guy, and I've had other people like want to do psychedelics, and they're like, I don't know, bro. Like, sometimes I seem a little scary to people. Find someone that isn't afraid, but that may be going through similar things that you're going through, so you guys can relate. But
The
yeah,
buddy system is real. You go to the
oh yeah,
fucking.
yeah. Help
I learned that when I was real young. When it comes to
army,
doing that type
yeah.
of shit, it was acid back then. To the Ozfest,
Hell yeah.
you got you some. That's a different conversation for a different time. But yeah, no, I was
Allegedly.
looking at the research, and that's what intrigued me about the psychedelics was the thought that it could hard reset
Yep.
your habitual, like at whatever controls you're initiating the habitual nature, dopamine, all that stuff. Like he was saying that the DMT would give you a chance to wake up tomorrow and start new habits. And I like I said, I go into the rabbit hole, but all that is theory.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Uh, I've I've definitely done DMT twice, and I haven't astral projected. But what really helped me though, and I'll get into the DMT, but what helped me with my brain, with my PTSD and stuff, was ketamine therapy. Ketamine is kind of like, one, it gives you a little numbs your body a little bit, any pain that was gone, but also it puts you outside of yourself. That monster that I have, and that would always be the reactive, that person that's been there my whole life protecting me, right? That being comes out and just lashes out, because if I do that, usually everyone just goes away. You know what I'm saying? But with this, you grab someone to watch you and you talk to them, and you can remove yourself and like talk to them, and now the demon is sitting back here. I can put him back here, and I can talk about the stuff subjectively objectively instead of subjectively. You know what I'm saying? Psychedelics remove that barrier, is what I'm trying to get at, and lets you focus on those things without, as much as you kind of judge yourself and stuff right there. It removes that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And the DMT definitely will remove you, because when I did it, my dude, everything turned like cartoonish. Reality was unzipping. It was like, hey, this is all an illusion, and that was scary. Now, if you have someone, please have someone. Maybe they can help you get to the next step, because I got so scared. I was just like, nope, we're out. Fuck this shit. I'm out. Is that something that you're looking to do, like DMT? I'm not trying to put your business out there, but
No,
I mean,
I absolutely am an advocate for the children not doing any drugs at all whatsoever.
Absolutely.
But as far as my life and what I'm going
this
through,
doesn't
right
go
now,
to kids, by the way. This is the no. This is definitely a hit. No,
do what I say, not what I do. But no, man, I definitely, and I'm a glutton though. For me, I need to be dosed. I need to be microdosed. I can't have no, because I hear things about people taking that shit and going in sound deprivation chambers and shit.
oh god,
That type of shit I'm trying to get into. If we're gonna go there, we might as well. Nah, but
you got that go button.
I've been in search for my spiritual tether, and it's caused a void in my existence. I'm saying, in my ability to approach, even though my actions. Because the truth is, I really appreciate you. You said, like, I thank you, man. Somebody had to pull me out of my shit recently and tell me something the same. But the truth is, I'm not doing enough. And forgive me, I don't want to get try not to get too
You're good, man.
emotional.
You're good, man.
The problem with understanding is it puts you on an island, because common sense isn't a real thing. And you said the word demon. I don't want to throw anything out, but I don't want any generalities put on what I'm going to say, so I'm not going to specify in that way. I'm just going to say that information and knowledge is a beautiful thing, and I suggest that everybody think for themselves. Take a step away from yourself and what you were taught, your deepest morals and values that your mom and your grandma and your grandpa taught you, the things that you hold dear, and you need to put that with the rest of the junk and destroy all that shit and build upon your new foundation in your life. And I would never discourage anybody's faith or belief, or that's why I'm trying to be careful with my wording here.
You're good.
But I found myself lost and in search for something, and all I found was lies.
Damn.
Misconception and absolute obliteration of the truth that I so needed as a child, because being my deprivation of I don't know, attention or whatever you want to, a father or whatever you want to call it, I needed that. So because that was the consistent thing, my morals, my fibers, my manners, like Nana taught me, like grandma, to be a good man. You know what I'm saying, like there was one thing, even if I was out there doing this or that or running around and moving around, I had my my shit that I stood on.
Mm.
I did a lot of bad things, or a lot of people I robbed. I did my time for, but I never stole no purses.
Mm.
I didn't take from nobody who was doing no 9 to 5 shit.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't running down on, and it doesn't make what I was doing right. But like I said, those are the small things you stand on to appease the guilt and the shame of doing something was wrong.
That's a deep perspective. It's a deep perspective. So yeah, I mean, I went to war. There's some things that I did, and no matter how.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Oh man,
And I couldn't even,
bro, both of our struggles we can't relate, but they're both insane struggles. But and one of the craziest ones for myself is having the baby face and having that pain, but then not taking you seriously, and then saying that and that you're a liar or some shit like that, or people trying to like check you and shit like that. And I'm beyond that at this age. You can go ahead anymore. I got nothing left to prove. I think I had an argument not so recent, and I wish them all the best of luck, really, honestly. But I'm not doing no more arguing no more. You know what I mean? It's not for me. It doesn't help. And I feel like a lot of it just ends up making things worse. So I'm trying to remove myself from being that reactive person, kind of noticing that all of us are in pain right now. All of us.
absolutely.
There's not one person that I know that isn't hurting badly right now. And I'm not saying because of anything, but there's just shit going on.
We're in the age of information.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I've been running my mouth.
no. This is your episode, my dude. I'm starting to learn. This is part of my learning to shut up. I want to hear your story and what you have to say. Everyone's heard a bunch of what I've had to say.
I was just piggybacking off what you were saying, man. I struggle to find a better word than stupid when it comes to my mistake. Because the thing about understanding is like you have to acknowledge at some point in your fucking life. I think that's like, well, manhood for me, like right now, what I'm coming to is first of all acknowledging that there's certain things that you just fucking don't do. There's certain ways that you just don't, and you have to get off your ass and you got to work. You know, I recently lost my job.
Sorry.
Well, fucking, I did it to myself. But you know, that's it was a job that I was a case manager. I helped people, and it was very important to me. I took it it justified my little bullshit existence. You know what I'm saying, being able to go give those, you'd be so surprised, man. I have a gift to speak and relay a message. As far as my understanding, to any walk of life, especially the ones, respectfully, the lower walks, because I come from that shit. And I give everybody their fair shot, man, their equal value. And for the life of me, man, all the achieve, I just want to achieve. To be very clear, it's not a drug or nothing else makes me happier in my life than getting up and achieving something, accomplishing something. You know what I'm saying? Making my fucking bed, making sure my area is clean. I sound like I'm fucking in prison.
Nah,
But
man,
making sure
that's the shit in the army too, my guy.
making sure I'm clean, making sure my shit's clean cut all the time, make sure I always fucking smell good. You know what I mean? It's the,
Your routine. It's your
and
shit.
then all these things that I've been compiling in my head, I have to actualize them. I need to accomplish something every day. I have to do something, like I need to step out, and every day that I don't do that is torture for me. And they can pile upon themselves, and then it's like I'm under this weight of fucking, I'm having this pity party with myself about why I'm not doing the shit that I'm supposed to be doing, knowing the only thing that's gonna make me happier or feel better is to get up and go do the shit.
Bro, are you in my motherfucking head, dog? God damn, dog. That, like, I can't tell you. I've had those exact fucking thoughts. I just started this new job, right? And every day I just feel so much better, because before I was trying to do that little delivery kind of shit, but I wasn't getting up and doing nothing. I wasn't doing none of that. I wasn't doing like the editing like I wanted to do. I wasn't doing none of that shit. But I finally, I was just like in fear. I don't know what I was afraid of, but I pushed through that shit. and I've done everything like you're talking about, and then I'm like, oh shit, I feel good. Accomplishment, actually doing stuff and showing up for myself. That's what you're talking about, is showing up for yourself. Like, that's dope, bro. You got to start showing up for yourself, and then you can show up for others. It's just like in the like in an airplane, my doc. Like when the thing comes down, you got to put the mask on yourself, and then you take care of everybody else. Otherwise, you're gonna die. Everyone's gonna die.
I use that example all the fucking time. It's great. I tell my mom that shit. That's crazy,
bro. That's why, like, when you were talking, I sat back. I'm like, this motherfucker's in my brain. Like that. I think very, very, very similarly. Absolutely.
It's an affliction. I think we all feel. That's what we were talking about earlier about the age of information and understanding.
Right.
We're living amongst three generations that could never possibly understand each other because they were raised with three entirely different understandings. You have the elders who didn't have technology. We have our generation who ushered it in, and then our children, and they live in the age of information and get to look at all the stupid shit that us and our ancestors did. And now, I'm just gonna say this shit outright: just the drugs and all, I don't want to get like look at conspiracy, but I can feel it. I don't know about none of y'all, but I feel it on my body. The food,
Yep.
The weed is different.
Yep.
Everything it's literally pulling me away from me and my.
Or maybe that's our misconception of who we thought we were, or they're stealing it from. I don't know, bro.
I think they're fucking poisoning us.
Yes, for sure.
Or fucking trying to get us to adapt to whatever they're fucking gonna change in the future.
Right.
Or I just want to dig my feet in.
Mm.
So for me, understanding information, I'm looking into homeschooling my kids right now, getting these putting this LLC, my EIN, putting all this shit, my credit, all this shit, lining up, get these RVs and taking this show on the road, man. Our resources out there, it's the world. One thing I fucking coming out here trying to do this music shit, when dealing with I don't step out. I don't come out nearly. I really don't like to rub shoulders with men, especially the ones out here. The thing that you learn in prison is Arizona's one of fucking 4 states that allows skinheads to walk general population yards. And I have no ill will or I don't really care what you believe or what you think. I only say that to say this is Arizona and LA and Texas, even going into Nevada, have a warped sense of reality when it comes to ethnicity and the integration and understanding. The way we move in the state, in these population the yards right here, it's everybody versus the black folks. I just want to like make that clear. When something happens on the yard, everybody teams up, gathers around the yard, all the knives, everything out. As soon as just to threaten the collective, something happens, and they don't have a choice because the state makes sure they're outnumbered by every race. They make sure that on every yard, the black folks or whatever you want to call it, forgive me the verbatims and the semantics and shit, but they make sure that the population is lower than the rest of the races. They make sure that the gangs are separated. They keep them most of the actual active because all the gang, and that's up there. So I don't want to get too involved.
You're good.
But I say that to say this is it's out there, man. The we're 4 hours away from LA. It's a music mecca. Nashville's what 12, whatever. Houston's right here. As long as you ain't, for me, I'm not planning to indulge in no partying or no other shit anyway. I'm just ready to work.
I feel that.
So if it ain't about a stage or a screen or a camera or something to move forward, it's just I'm really fucking struggling to figure out how I'm gonna put 100% of my time and effort into this music and the business and everything when I need to spend so much time earning and providing. I'm really at a wall, and I think it's my pride, man. You know what I'm saying?
Might be. I can't tell you for yourself. For myself, recently having to figure out shit I even I took another job or whatever, and at one point in time, I was like, I'm not gonna get another job. I'm just gonna whatever I'm doing, I'm just gonna skate by just with whatever I have. And I'm like, man, what are we doing? And then I was just kind of scared. I don't know. It's rough, but you know how it goes. Once you start one foot in front of the other and you start building, and that's how shit happens, man. Like one of the things that was discouraging to me in my mental health journey was constantly like second guessing myself, and especially like for myself doing this podcast and stuff. I'm putting myself out there, and everyone's saying, "Oh, he's healing," and then I'd get in an argument with somebody, and they're like, "See." You know what I mean? They're like, look at him. He's an asshole. He's not really that nice guy and all that kind of shit. Well, because fuck you. Sorry, but goddamn. And for now, like I was out there doing venue shit and everything. But like you said, sometimes it's just hard to be around people. You don't know who to trust. And even when you do trust them, you find out sometime down the line that they were talking shit about you. And you're like, fuck. But everybody's doing it nowadays in Arizona. So it's just like, where the fuck do you go? I understand that. I know that for my past and my friends, like I hope, well, if they come around, we can talk shit out and everything. But it's just rough, man. I've lost a lot of really good, what I thought were really good friends. I really thought so. But even they were like talking shit about some of their friends. Fuck. You know what I mean?
This is how I feel about that. I think that your friends, like, they don't exist anymore. The people that you were, the person you were, and the person that they were in that tough point in time don't exist anymore.
Trying to go back, maybe not the.
Well, given that the case, that means you're a new person. They're a new person, and maybe the past absolutely has something to do with everything moving forward, because it's what built the foundation of who you are and that relationship. But for me, I've made it an absolute necessity in my life to prioritize my circle and who I choose to indulge with, even conversate with.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the type of conversation you have, like, it don't take me long. I don't watch TV. I don't play games.
Mm-hmm.
I have just this obsessive nature to plan all this shit out, and I have these dreams to accomplish them, and I have this nagging fucking urge in my body to make people understand these things that seem so simple to me. And I think that's where the arguing and shit, like you were talking about, comes in, because you understand, you know something, and something has been such an important part of your life to move forward, and you've overcame these hurdles, and you've learned so much, and the little tiniest simplest things, could have saved you so much time and energy and pain. You just never came across the right person, or you were never around the right, or maybe your parents didn't know either, and that's not their fault. They were misled too, even more so than us.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, we had a little bit more information given to us. We're smarter.
We question a little more.
That's what makes our generation unique out of the three. But these kids, man, are fucking amazing, man. I love to watch them do what they do, and I wish I can find one of them little motherfuckers to teach me this subscription, all the money. I really try to get to this bag.
I keep trying too, man, and I keep making it, and then and some of these kids out here are just like running. I mean, I don't even know. I can't even say circles. They're like spinning the world around me, but but they know this is their world, and this thing's really to help people. But like, this is their world, man. But you're right. We've all been kind of misled, and I feel for this new generation. But I think we question more, and they're questioning even more. I'm hoping that keeps going. I'm hoping that we all start maybe talking to each other a little bit more, because I bring this up. KRS-One said this: the older people that talk to the younger people will move faster among the older people, and the younger people that talk to older people will move faster around the younger people because of said conversations. So these are good conversations to have, and I appreciate all that, man. That was some real deep shit, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us. We're gonna go ahead and jump into our last segment, which is Plug Talk.
words and seeing how you do them. Really.
Heck yeah, man. If you ever want, man, if you ever want to do a podcast, I'm definitely people would listen to you right here. Maybe that's a vision. Maybe
No, we have. I definitely want to do. It's just I don't have the resource.
Well, maybe in the future. We never know what's out there in the ether. But go ahead and let everybody know how to get a hold of you, where to listen, watch.
My name is Fat Mike. FATMIC. MIC is an acronym. Movement, concert, anything positive like ILL. Fat Mike, like microphone. Fat Mike Productions. .blogspot.com is my domain. There's a streaming portal, access to the things I'm doing. I began my music rollout at the beginning of this year. I spent 15 years in the penitentiary. You know, so I'm really just putting my foot in the water, but I've been dropping 2 songs a month.
Recent one, My God.
Better. I think it was
better.
No, not better. It was different. I think it was different. I think it was better and then different. Okay. And then I'm dropping, shout out to JB, 479 JB. He's a 14-year-old. Oh my God, Arizona stand up, man. He's a sensational upcoming. That's coming up next. I got a song with AB Swavey coming up. Speaking to the culture, to my Mexicanos. We got on our Los Bukis. But you know, the music is coming. I wrote a play for all the artists.
All
vibes, theatrical, spectacular. Fat Mike presents. Buddy on the stage is going to be an artist. They're going to have a chance to somewhat showcase their talent, but it is a stage play. It's kind of based around reality and the life of the artist. There's going to be poets, comedians.
Bro, that's sick.
All that shit's in the work. I was supposed to do it at the end of last year, but you know, life does what life does, and we're working. When Nas say, you hear me on Belly with thoughts like that. But I got the formula. I got some shit. If y'all got the money, whatever it is that y'all, I need the resource. I got the formula, the talent. I'm really fucking him, man. Come holler at me.
There you go. Hey, like you said, if you got the money, come talk to him. Make it work. I've listened to quite a bit of it. Love your production. That shit is fire. That's dope that you're doing a play, man. That's fucking sick. I love that idea. That's fucking dope as shit.
Shout out to Engineer by Freeze. Excuse me. You brought up the production. I want to make sure, bro. Engineer by Freeze, Epicenter Studios, Tempe, Arizona.
All that shit, man. I've been listening to your music. I was listening to My God on the way in. That shit's dope. You really put your heart and soul into everything. You really feel you not only hear your emotions, you feel the shit when you're listening to the shit. Being on here and talking to us and sharing all this with us. Make sure to tap in with him. Make sure, like I said, tap in with habarientertainment.com. If you want your own podcast or anything, you can do it right here. All right. At @_Healing Chefs, at the Healing Chefs on YouTube. Shout out to all the different sponsors: Hades, Cannabis Apothecary, High Vibes, all the different people.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?